Hey everyone, so this is my review of American Horror Story Cult, episode 1 called Election Night. And essentially what this episode is about is that a married couple continues and really starts to struggle with their relationship, especially when a bunch of clowns show up to start terrorizing their town. And this was definitely a first episode of an American Horror Story season, where what that means is that it's a lot to do with like introducing all sort of like the main characters, as well as going about really sort of throwing you in there and you have no idea what's going on, and then the episodes to come will sort of start to clarify things. So for it being a first episode of an American Horror Story season, it was a very good episode. So it did do a really good job, and I really sort of had these feelings toward each of the main characters. And I can't really remember a lot of their names off the top of my head, but each of them I just really loved, especially the like little son of this married couple. He was just very interesting, and I really loved the sort of tie back to the Freak Show season where they brought Twisty the Clown back into this, even though it sort of is through this comic book that this little kid's reading, but still having that sort of be a tie-in to all like these clowns that are surrounding in this season. I just really love that. And it was a little weird and very interesting to see like the dynamic differences between each of these main characters, where we have the really calm wife and like the over dramatic freaking out over everything wife, as well as this other guy who is just completely polar opposite of the two of them, and this other sort of median girl who's kind of between this married couple and this other guy, and we don't fully know how she fits into things so far, but I'm very curious and really am interested to see what they might do with this sort of median girl character going forward. I actually remember her name, which was Winter. She's the one that I'm the most interested in. And then I also really loved the idea of what they did with this episode, which was something where it was like you really didn't know what was going on, like what was true and what was false and what was this one lady actually seeing. And I loved how they did that with like the grocery store scene, where they played that whole scene and then they played the sort of minutes after it and all this chunk after it, where it was sort of making you believe that everything she saw at this grocery store wasn't real. And then right at the very end they sort of throw in this whole thing where it makes you actually believe that maybe what she saw at the grocery store was real. So then it sort of throws out that everything that happened between those two scenes, what in there was real. And I just really love that, and I definitely cannot wait to see what they might play off of all those different moments and what might actually be real and what's not real. And just, I feel like that's going to be a whole big theme of this season, is that whole sort of playing back and forth of what is real and what isn't, and I'm super excited to see what they might do with that, especially with it being the American Horror Story writers and all this stuff. They seem to do a very good job of playing with that whole theme of what's real and what isn't. So I'm just really excited to see what they're going to do. And that, I guess, is it. Just overall, this was a really amazing sort of first episode to an American Horror Story season. But there wasn't a lot to it because it is a first episode, so it dealt a lot with sort of introducing tiny little themes to the plot, as well as mostly focusing on introducing the more main characters. So I am very excited to see what they're going to do going forward. And like I said, just overall, this was a very great first episode, and I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with that. So yeah, that's my review of American Horror Story Cult, episode 1 called Election Night. So yeah, bye!